Hey, this is ADV Tress again, and I'm here to share with you some video highlights from the NorCal BMW Club Range of Light Tour. And these video clips are from the 2017 and 2018 rides. The great thing about these rides is that they're usually cover a good distance between campsites. And since this ride has been going on yearly for over 15 years, as far as I know, they've really dialed in the roads that you travel over. In 2017, we went from a campsite somewhere near Angels Camp all the way up through Nevada up to Susanville and Lassen. And then this year, in the 2018 ride, we went from Napa over to Quincy and then spent our final night in Wairika. As you can see in some of the video though, the roads are single lane, which makes it super enjoyable to ride through. And I'm sorry about some of the bumpy video. I was trying out my GoPro mounted on the bike and I didn't have any extra stabilization equipment. So even with Final Cut Pro stabilization enabled, it still looks like on some of the clips I'm riding a horse instead of riding a motorcycle. And part of the issue, I think, is that it's running at 2x speed, mostly because I wanted to share some of the great scenery with you guys. The basic structure of these rides is they usually start out on Friday night or Friday at the first camp, and then you have two more camp nights, which is Saturday night and Sunday night, and then Monday is the day you head home. The distance between camps, I think, averages about 350 miles, so they're really designed for people that like to travel on their bikes. So that's a bullet point to remember. They also include GS-style dirt tracks for those of a more adventurous nature. And I've only been riding with the club the last 2 or 3 years and have not yet done any of these GS routes. And last year and this year I didn't do them, and I kicked myself for not doing them because people had come back from doing them and just saying they were amazing. This year, I even met up with a group of folks that were like, yeah, we'll help you out, and I still didn't do it. So in 2017, the ride up near Auburn was the year that Auburn had those really bad fires. And then this year, when we were coming down from Wairika, we passed through Shasta County on I-5, and the smoke was super thick. And then I think a day later, I had heard that the fire had crossed over 5 and shut it down. The 2017 ride through what I'll call the lower and upper gold country was absolutely amazing. It was my first time riding these roads on motorcycle, and I have to say I actually absolutely fell in love with it. We traveled along 108, or what I'd like to call the poor man's Yosemite. There was still little snow coverage at the higher elevations, and the fact that there were no crowds on the roads or no crowds at any of the stops made the experience even more meaningful. We dropped down into Nevada off of 108, and then took some of the roads and back roads around Nevada and then headed up back towards Susanville. I think we stopped in a town called Bridgeport, and what a nostalgic, cute little town. If you're ever there, there's a great Native American shop downtown that has some really nice gift items for your significant other, if you're so interested. The bike I ride and that I'm basically in love with is a 2016 triple black GS 1200. And since I'm a little height challenged, I stand about 5'3", it has an extra low suspension and a Touratech extra low seat. The only additional extras I put on the bike have been some protection baubles, Touratech hard cases, and a pair of PL lamps. For long distances, the Touratech seat is fine, but for those of you with a more bony hiney, you may find it not padded enough. I also used to camp with soft luggage, but just found the hassle of hooking straps on, opening bags, and disgorging the content of my bag to find a pair of socks that were only stuck to a melted candy bar, just frustrating. And then I always had this omnipresent fear of someone slashing through them to get at basically a pair of pants and a sweater. On these rides, you often come across areas you want to explore, be it grab lunch at some diner that you find, or take a trail down to the river to take a quick dip. or park and explore some small town. In doing these things with soft luggage, I was constantly worried about losing my stuff. Not that my stuff is not replaceable, it is. I carry a credit card. But when you're riding motorcycling or when you're motorcycling solo and you have to juggle 1,000 things at work just to get, 72 hours off, the last thing you want to do is waste any amount of that time that you could be spending riding or chit-chatting, meeting new people, or being in the great outdoors, rushing around to find some place that sells a sleeping bag or tent or some other critical item that you might need. And that will cost you 3 times as much as the one you had and you won't be happy with. So I bit the bullet, bought those set of hard cases, and with it, it's like snap, snap, things are locked, and hit the wheel, and off they come if you need to take them off the bike. Plus, I found that the side cases make great tabletops, they make good seats and footrests. It's just bonus all the way around. I know eventually when I go for longer excursions, I will need to face the hard reality that I will have to put some soft luggage on my bike. But then the plan is to only put stuff in there that is more luxury and I can live without than a necessity of what I need. Example of this would be extra clothes, extra food, extra camp padding, pillow, whatever. You get the picture. It's the extras that make a longer trip nicer. And what is the saying? 2 is 1, 1 is none, and none is a pain in the hiney, which makes me whiny. The other great thing about these rides is a surprise. I know there are a couple people out there who just got to know the ending of something, but when you show up on these rides, you don't know what the next camp destination is. And you won't find out until the morning when you give them the GPS of your choice and they load the route onto it. Now you also get a paper copy, so if you're not a GPS person, you don't have to worry about it. It's plug and play from there, and then you get to oogle through your helmet at all the great scenery and enjoy the feel of your bike as you bank into corners and straightaways. A bit of heaven, that is. The other great thing about these rides is getting out of your element. As they are long rides, they usually take you from your home turf, and you get to see and experience things differently. For me, it's the barns and the buildings and the architecture and the way these farms are set up. I enjoy the different styles and level of upkeep. And you know what? It reminds me of our American roots, the farming communities that form the backbone of this nation. And gosh, when I start to see stuff like this, I just want an American flag and pledge allegiance. Since most of the roads on these rides, I can say I've never ridden on a motorcycle, adds to the excitement and exploration nature that occurs when you are out riding. Cruising down a patch of asphalt, not knowing what the next curve is or what the next route direction will occur, lets the organization and analytical planning side of my brain rest. And then I just get the pure riding enjoyment. I think some of you know what I mean by this. I think boaters experience the same thing. You're dealing not with the wind, but with the now. The speed of your bike, the condition of your road, the elements that you might come across, your own level of experience, and all these things are in the now. And dealing with the now is a welcome break from our day-to-day hectic lives. The ride also provides a transportation wagon in case you do bring soft luggage or extra luggage you don't want to carry around. In that case, I recommend keeping your tent and your camp stuff with you. Basically the basics. So that if the wagon is delayed, you can still set up and enjoy the camp. They also feed you Saturday and Sunday night, and they have a beer truck, which you can purchase beer from. I have one of those mule soft coolers, and I have to tell you it's great. As ice melts throughout the day, you have cold water to enjoy when you get to camp, and then you can put beer in it and you have a cold beer. There is nothing more satisfying than having your first sip of beer, and some people may not be beer people, so wine or whatever your cold drink of choice is. Admiring your bike and the fact that you safely and hopefully without a speeding ticket made it to your destination. Now I have to say, in the 2018 ride, I did not make it home without a speeding ticket. I-5, I don't know what happened. Also, when you arrive at your camping destination, there can be some confusion as to where the campsite actually is. It's one of those how many motorcyclists does it take scenarios. Even that bit of an adventure is fun. And you can kind of see us here like, hey, we can't get to where we see people camping. And a gentleman comes over to help us in this little trailer. And we're like, I can see it over there. And I don't know where it's at. And you have to go that way or this way. So anyway, we ended up figuring it out. So overall, I would highly recommend this ride to anybody looking for a bit of organized adventure. You show up, you ride, you eat, you make new friends, and ride again the next day. What more could a person want? Additionally, everything's set up for you. All you need to do is show up with your bike. They will have food available for you, as I said, Saturday and Sunday nights. They give you your route markers, your camp. The camping areas are usually very large, so there's a place to find camp. And on the Sunday night, they also have like raffle and awards ceremony, which, you know, is fun, right? It gets motorcyclists together, and you get to kind of peer share about rides and different places you've gone. People share adventures they've been on, and if you're one of those individuals who likes to ride with other people, and I'm not saying that I necessarily do, but some people really do, then you get to ride with a group of people that have similar interests, and you can usually find somebody that has riding styles that match your own, so that if you wanted to go for a longer ride and wanted to have the peer support group, then this is a great opportunity and place to meet people that probably are riding a bike like you and have the same interests. So here's some final snaps of the trip. My bike. And I don't know why they put this love sign out in the middle of this field. This is in one of the small towns we passed through. And again, what I want to say is I hope to see you guys in the future. Hope you enjoyed some of the video clips and have a great time out there riding. So happy trails, and until we meet again.